Yeah, it's all coming out. The truth shall set you free. Sophie, one half of the Blonde Bombers, Sophie, the Trophy Cunningham, launched her new podcast, and boy, she exposing the WNBA. Y'all are getting exposed for the nasty work y'all was doing. We said over and over again, and people tried to act like us, Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever fans, were crazy and being soft when we said, yo, she's clearly being targeted.
And it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're
Sophie, if they didn't like you then, they sure aren't going to like you now. Sophie Cunningham has been making waves with the new podcast that she is now featured in, courtesy of The Volume. Sophie Cunningham letting it all out and not holding back one bit. She calls out the old guard. She calls out the people out there who refuse to say Caitlin Clark is the face of the league.
The silence has been deafening. The targeting has been relentless. And for too long, nobody with a real platform inside the WNBA has been willing to say what needs to be said. But that all changed when Sophie Cunningham, the fiery heart of the Indiana Fever, finally stood up and declared, enough is enough. This wasn't just a teammate defending a friend. This was the voice that millions of frustrated fans had been desperately waiting for. A truth bomb dropped in the middle of a league that seems determined to destroy its own golden goose.
She's the most flagrantly foul player in the league. She gets hacked and grabbed all over the floor, knocked to the floor when the ball's not even in play. The refs don't call anything. Kathy Engelberg act like she got vision like Stevie Wonder, and she don't see any of this. This is ridiculous. She's the cash cow. She's the reason that people are even watching all of this. She's the reason for all of this stuff. And she is blatantly, clearly being targeted. Clearly. And everybody act like we was making it up. Now we have Sophie Cunningham, a member of the Indiana Fever who was with the Phoenix Mercury last year, who's giving us insight to the conversations that were happening with the targeting toward Caitlin Clark. It was never about basketball, ladies and gentlemen.
What makes Sophie Cunningham's defense so devastatingly effective is that she's not just speculating. She's a former insider who is now pulling back the curtain on the league's dirty little secret. She was in the locker rooms. She heard the game plans. In a bombshell admission, Cunningham revealed that when she was with the Phoenix Mercury, teams would literally strategize about how to toughen up Caitlin Clark, with explicit discussions about showing her what the W really is. This is the smoking gun. It confirms what every fan has suspected. The abuse Clark endures isn't random. It's a coordinated league-wide campaign. But here's the kicker that makes it even more damning. Cunningham admits that what she's witnessing now, as Clark's teammate, goes far beyond even that. Every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them, she explained. But there's just more for her. Now, being on her team and seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? It's just too much.
There's only one face of the WNBA. There's only one person that has casuals sitting down in front of a TV, glued to their sofa, watching the WNBA. Sophie Cunningham also talks about how teams target being rough with Caitlin Clark. We gotta toughen her up. We gotta rough her up a little bit. We gotta really show her what it's like over here in the WNBA. And Sophie Cunningham says there's how we treat rookies, and then we had to add a little something extra for Caitlin Clark. She also talks about defending Caitlin Clark in that viral Connecticut Sun game and what the locker room chatter was between her and Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, this Caitlin Clark friendship like a cow. She was on somebody's podcast and said, when people try to argue she's not the face of the league, you're dumb as shit. Now, mind you, face of the league and most popular are two different things. I don't think she's the face of the league, but I think she's the most popular in some sections.
Sophie Cunningham didn't just talk the talk, she backed it up with action. Her transformation from gritty role player to Clark's official on-court enforcer began in that now infamous game against the Connecticut Sun. After watching J.C. Sheldon get overly physical with Clark, Cunningham delivered a hard foul that sparked a brawl and sent a clear, bone-chilling message to the entire league. Mess with Caitlin Clark, and you're messing with me. In that moment, she became a viral sensation, not just for the foul, but for what it represented. She was the first person to physically stand up and protect the league's biggest star when the referees refused to. Her role on the team evolved overnight. She was no longer just a teammate, she was a bodyguard. A necessary shield against the relentless targeting that has defined Clark's professional career.
Number one, how about her podcast? She's already got 122,000 views in one damn day. And that's just the YouTube side. This podcast, I believe, is on The Volume, which is Colin Cowherd's podcast network. So that's a lot of views.
Shout out to Sophie Cunningham, aka the Pink Power Ranger, and Wes Wilson. They have a podcast called Show Me Something that they just launched. And yeah, I'm tuned in. So look, what we all been witnessing right before our eyes about our precious CC, my precious CC, Caitlin Clark, for the ones who didn't know. So basically, she was saying that when they was preparing, when she was on the other team before she came to the Indiana Fever, we talking about Sophie Cunningham. She was basically saying that the Phoenix Mercury players were basically game planning and saying that they was going to assault her.
With her new platform, Cunningham has become the league's most unapologetic truth teller, and her new podcast, Show Me Something, has become the home of her fiery, unfiltered takes. Her most explosive moment came when she absolutely destroyed anyone who dares to question Clark's status as the face of the WNBA. It literally pisses me off when people are like, "She's not the face of the league," Cunningham declared. "If our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumbass." This is the kind of raw honesty that has been completely absent from the league's carefully curated, politically correct discourse. While other players whisper and throw shade, Cunningham is kicking down the door and screaming the truth from the rooftops. She's not just defending Clark, she's aggressively promoting her, unafraid to call out the absurdity of the haters.
But in this case, Sophie Cunningham is not afraid to tell it like it is. You know, Aaliyah Boston, another member of the Fever, who has a podcast. I talked about that earlier. That launching with Candace Parker, Post Moves, and now Sophie Cunningham joins the list of WNBA players with a podcast or an outlet like that. Of course, you know, there are plenty. Angel Reese has hers, and the Stud Buds have their platform. So there are plenty of WNBA stars with an outlet like that. And now Cunningham has Show Me Something with TV personality Wes Wilson.
And one thing I like about Sophie is that she's tough. So when Caitlin Clark last week, or not last week, a couple days ago, when Caitlin Clark got destroyed, her girl Sophie came to her defense, and this was the most beast mode thing that I've seen a woman do in WNBA history. A little bit of LeBron James-esque type behavior. LeBron James literally flops every time somebody touch him. And I think that Caitlin Clark flop a little bit. I'm just saying, she kind of drastic. You know, my eyeballs, and then they hit her and she fly across the... I don't think that girl that's number 3 ain't that strong.
Cunningham's crusade isn't just aimed at jealous players. It's a full frontal assault on the entire broken system, starting with the referees. She's been fined for TikTok videos mocking the officiating, a move she's openly laughed about, showcasing her complete lack of fear of the league office. She sees the double standard with her own eyes. She gets elbowed in the face with no call. She's grabbed by the neck in a loose ball scramble with no whistle. She understands that the same pattern of neglect that has followed Clark is now extending to anyone who dares to defend her. She's not just fighting against bad calls. She's fighting against a culture of incompetence and potential bias that has allowed the physical abuse of her teammate to continue unchecked. Her rebellion is a direct challenge to the WNBA's authority, questioning their priorities and exposing their failure to protect their players.
I think some of that is exactly what Sophie said, but I also think that she's defined herself as the enforcer now, and I think the fact that her teammates have her back and they're going to stand up for her is what they've been waiting for. The question is, will the refs?
Here's what the WNBA front office and the jealous players fail to understand. In the new sports economy, authenticity is currency, and Sophie Cunningham just hit the jackpot. Her rebellion has been overwhelmingly rewarded by the fans. In the 48 hours after she defended Clark, she gained nearly 600,000 TikTok followers. Her jersey sold out completely. She signed major endorsement deals with brands like Ring, Arby's, and Adidas. Her podcast, launched with Colin Cowherd's Powerhouse Network, The Volume, became an instant success. The fans have spoken, and their message is clear. They are starved for someone to tell the truth. They have anointed Sophie Cunningham the people's champion because she is saying what they are all screaming at their televisions. Her explosion in popularity is undeniable proof that defending Caitlin Clark isn't just the right thing to do, it's a brilliant business move.
You have seen players in our league try to toughen up Caitlin. We call her Cece. Cece. For even when I wasn't on her team, I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of no, we're gonna prove her, we're gonna show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And I get it to a certain extent, and every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're gonna treat them. But there's just more for her. So it's her second year, and now being on her team and seeing it, I'm what are people doing? It's just too much.
Sophie Cunningham's defense is not just about fairness, it's about survival, specifically the survival of Caitlin Clark's career. The two biggest unspoken pandemics in the WNBA are the rampant jealousy directed at Clark and the mysterious string of injuries that have plagued her second season. Cunningham sees the direct connection. The constant physicality, the relentless targeting she described, is taking its toll. Clark, a player who never missed a game in college or her rookie year, has missed half of this season with recurring soft tissue injuries. This isn't a coincidence, it's a consequence. Even Clark's brother briefly posted on social media, blaming the referees for her latest injury before deleting the tweet. Sophie sees what's happening. The league is allowing its players to slowly, methodically, and perhaps permanently break down its most valuable asset.
Sophie Cunningham just confirmed what we already knew, but putting it out there on paper that the WNBA players purposely target Caitlin Clark in a different way than all the other players. Now, Sophie, as we know, was not on our team last year and was with the Phoenix Mercury, and this is what she had to say about players targeting Caitlin.
What makes Sophie's stance so powerful is her ability to articulate the nuance of the situation. She acknowledges that all rookies face a welcome to the league level of physicality, but she is the first and only player to publicly state that what is happening to Caitlin Clark is different. There's just more for her, she said. A simple but chilling phrase that captures the essence of the problem. It's that more that has crossed the line from professional hazing to unprofessional, dangerous targeting. Her experience as both Clark's opponent and her teammate gives her a unique and unimpeachable perspective. She's not just an observer, she's a witness who has seen both sides of the conspiracy, and she has found the courage to call it out. Sophie Cunningham isn't just a good teammate, she's a necessary force of accountability in a league that has proven it is incapable of policing itself. She has become the voice for millions of frustrated fans who have watched in horror as their favorite player has been abused, disrespected, and injured. She has backed up her fiery words with her actions, embracing the role of the enforcer and paying the fines with a smile. The WNBA now stands at a crossroads. They can continue to allow the jealousy, the targeting, and the referee incompetence that is slowly destroying Caitlin Clark, or they can listen to voices like Sophie Cunningham and finally protect their golden goose. Sophie has done her part. She spoke up when everyone else stayed silent. Now the ball is in the league's court.